Welcome back to Daytime. Now, I know when I was in school, I definitely had some subjects I was better at than others, and this program that's just been developed in this school is out there to help students who are underperforming in certain ways and not necessarily knowing why. It's the Rising Star Academy, and we have Faraz Marish with us here today, who's the founder and principal, as well as a student, Hasham, with us here today to talk a little bit more about their program and what it's all about and how they're trying to help our community. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being here.
No problem. So why don't we start off with why there are these problems in our community right now with students that are struggling?
The problem is not just academic. It's a mix between academic and a personal side of it. And it starts all with the foundational phase, which is from grade 1 to grade 8. Apparently what's happening is schools are leaning more towards a free style of teaching. So there's no firmness and discipline that would actually push the students to focus on what they're doing. And we all know that in any kind of training, firmness is required.
Right.
Testing is a form of firmness that would push the students to be disciplined enough to work. But we see that from grade 1 to grade 8, we don't have any testing mechanism. So students are getting more laid back. They're getting more lazy, if you will. And especially when it comes to math. Math is the science of order, discipline, logic, and that requires a person to be extremely disciplined to be able to understand the logic behind math, and to be able to deal with it. And this is mainly what's happening now with this generation. It's not disciplined enough, unfortunately. It's not given that science with the proper firmness, so that will result in the situation that we have. Most of the students have problems with math because of that.
Well, I know even I had really big problems with math, and I used to be that kind of high school kid where it'd be like, even if I passed with just like a 51%, I was happy that I got the credit, right? So do you think a lot of them, like not only, obviously a lot of students are lazy, but I mean, could it have something to do with the way that the teachers are teaching it?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, math unfortunately is becoming, or it's viewed by a lot of people as just a science of counting, but it's definitely a lot beyond that. The logic embedded in math, and it's pretty simple between grade 1 and grade 8, but the logic embedded in it gets the student to think in a systematic way. And for them to think this way, teachers should present it in a logical way. So what we've been seeing is a lot of teachers, and meaning no disrespect, but the students that we've been dealing with, they teach students just the method. This is how you do it. Oh, just do this. Oh, my teacher told me just to do that. They don't take the extra effort to teach them the logic behind it.
To dissect it a bit more, the problem a bit more.
Absolutely, and that contributes to getting students to become more dealing with math in an illogical way, if you will, because it takes a lot of brain power.
So why
to
is
go
that?
And analyze.
Does that have to do with just laziness, or does that have to do with overcrowded classrooms, or?
We have to give them that. I mean, when you're sitting with 30 students in class and not all of them are interested, it's draining. It's really hard on a teacher to actually do that job properly. So I truly believe math classes should be small, no more than 10 or 15 maximum.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think it's also a very hard subject to tackle because a lot of people feel that people learn in different ways. So it can be hard to put in one strategy that works for everyone, right? Which is kind of what you have to do in a school in a lot of situations. So let's talk a little bit about how your system is different and how you think that's helping.
Absolutely. Smaller classes, so groups, maximum of 5 is what we maintain in our centers. Besides firmness, we have zero tolerance for any acts or behavior that will disturb the class. So students are sitting there, they're working. We call it it's like a math boot camp. Right. So that environment is conducive for a student to be more focused. Focus is also an issue when it comes to students. Students are very distracted with many, many things. Schools, unfortunately, they're becoming more of a social gathering than an educational institute. And it's all about the looks now, popularity, and this and that. Students cannot focus on studying. Right. So what we try to offer is a system that will get students focused, no distractions, with the monitoring and the supervision that we have also is quite high, and the environment that we create puts the students on track. Besides, we have a program called the Student Support Program, which is a continuous monitoring and counseling as well. So what we do is, if we realize or we feel that student is having a problem, we immediately take
somewhere
him
to
to a
go.
counseling session immediately and start talking about it. What's
I hear
happening?
that.
What's
Right.
this? Well, we have many analysis and many counseling sessions that we
Definitely.
go
Let's
That's a
talk
great thing to
about for you. How effective has the program been for you? What do you think about it?
Well, effective-wise, it's helped me in not only my math, but in other subjects, just to take everything slowly and do it correctly. Not only have I been learning like the methods, but just how everything works, like why this works in my math, and that way I can like understand the subject and what I'm actually doing. It's not just like a bunch of numbers to me anymore.
Right.
And how do you feel about being in a much smaller class?
It's actually really effective. I mean, after just 2 sessions, my next test that I wrote, I had an increase in my mark by 25%.
Oh my goodness,
So
That's awesome.
it's incredible.
So it is effective. So like, and I guess this is the answer for a lot of parents out there who probably, I'm sure you probably went to your parents and your parents were just
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know this stuff, right? And that's another difficult process, right? When you're going home, parents usually are hoped to be believed as the people who are helping their kids with their homework, right? But sometimes the parents don't even know what's going on the sheet. So it's really a standstill.
I feel sorry for parents because this is not supposed to be the parents' job.
Right.
You know, you're busy providing, you're busy caring, you're busy doing a lot of things. To sit down and have the mental power to go through the logic behind such a
Right.
subject,
Right.
After a long day of work.
it's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible. This is why we say we want to be part of the family to take care of this part. With us, it's the logic, it's the science, it's the discipline, it's the behavior, it's the training. A lot of things are provided through the science, and I totally believe math, if used properly, it's the science that will create strong personalities that has clear and effective communication, strong sense of logic, self-discipline, self-confidence, a lot of great values.
It really stretches the brain, math. And if you
Absolutely.
understand it, it's a good thing. But when you don't understand it, it's a really tough thing.
Frustrating.
And I know I remember how frustrating that was. It was such a battle with me. But I mean, you're right. I mean, as long as the right tools are there, anybody could probably understand it eventually.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And for more information, if this is something you're interested in, or for your kids at home, you can go to www.risingstar.a.com for more information. Sounds like a great way to get a bit more focused, get your kid in the right spot, and make sure they have a great future coming
It is
up.
a good way. And you know, everything can seem so crazy now, but there's always help that's there and provided for you. So stay tuned. Lots more to come after the break.